Yes. So just a minute. Okay. So look, this is important chapter, but first I need to discuss what kind of a question you can get from this chapter. Basically, from this chapter, you will get the question which of the following is vector for disease, which of the following is, and most of the question they comes in the form of the match the following, right? That kind of the question, right? So you'll get that kind of factual question, right? So you'll get a very few questions which are the conceptual question, but yes, you can get. But the most of the question will be in the form of factual form, right? So let's start with this chapter. Look. The diseases that can be of two types, right? Congenital disease and acquired disease, right? So what are the congenital disease? Congenital disease, they are anatomical or physiological abnormalities. What does it mean by anatomical abnormalities? There may be fair enough chances that during the fetus development a hand has not developed, right? So that is a congenital disease, right? Physiological disease, a person is absent minded, or the development of the brain have not taken place due to certain reason, right? And due to some developmental abnormality, so that may be the physiological abnormality, right? Or a particular part of the person is not working properly. As you must have seen, there are many of the people, they have the two kidney, but only one is working, one is not working since the birth. That is a physiological abnormality. uh, they are present since birth, right? So the people born with the congenital disease, they do not acquire congenital disease, right? They don't get this disease after coming in this world, right? They just get these diseases since the birth only, right? Third thing, mutation, chromosomal abnormalities, or environmental factor, right? There may be mutation, right? As we have seen that the Cry-Duchet syndrome, right? And chromosomal abnormality, Turner syndrome, Down syndrome, they all are. And environmental factor. There are fair enough chance a person have born at those area where radioactivity is present, or there are some other harmful substances are present. Means the person will have that kind of the abnormality because of these environmental factors, right? So these are the congenital diseases. Not normally, congenital diseases they are not transferred from a person to another person, right? The person take birth with a congenital disease. So the very important thing that they are not communicable disease. They cannot be transferred from a person to another person, right? So these are the congenital diseases. A person born with these kind of the diseases. Now what is the next one? The next disease is that is the acquired disease. So what is the acquired disease? Acquired disease are those disease which a person acquire in this environment after taking the birth, right? So they develop after the birth. That is the basic difference between congenital and acquired disease. Acquired diseases can be of two types. First, communicable, and second, non-communicable. Communicable diseases are those diseases that a person have taken this disease after the birth. For sake of example, a person born with a healthy body, and at the young stage he got TB. Now the TB, wherever he will spit, wherever he will cough, or sneezing, the transfer of disease will take place a person to another person. So that is an acquired disease, and that is communicable too. That can be communicated from a person to another person, right? Like HIV, that can be communicated from a person to another person, right? So communicable disease, they are also called infectious diseases because they infect other people, right? They may be bacterial disease, right? Like TB. They may be fungal disease, like ringworm, right? They may be protozoa disease, right? They may be viral disease, like viral fever, right? They may be protozoa disease, like these jaundice and all that, right? So they all are communicable disease. They are communicable from infected person to the healthy person. The second one, non-communicable disease. They are also called non-infectious disease because the infection of this disease do not spread from diseased person to healthy person, right? Uh, like allergy, like cancer, and they are mostly deficiency diseases. Like a person got diabetes after the birth, right? He taken a birth as a healthy person. After some time, after young age, the person got infected with, or that the person not infected, the person got a disease that is called diabetes. Now, diabetes cannot be transferred from person to another person. Is that clear? And take this screenshot if it's clear. Is that clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Keep on noting down the points which you see, which you think that they are important for you. Now come to the next thing. Now the common human diseases and their pathogen, right? So first, the vector which spread diseases. Whatever written in this screen, right, and whatever I say, please cram that thing, right? These the vector. What is the vector first thing? Suppose that. And nowadays it's a summertime, right? So you will see that you will get the sugarcane juice here and there everywhere, right? What happened with the sugarcane juice? The cholera bacteria, Vibrio cholerae, that developed very fast with the fresh sugar, right? So the waste part of the sugarcane. So in that waste part, a bacteria called Vibrio cholerae that spread the cholera. That bacteria developed. What happens when you go to have that juice? So what happened? A fly which sit on that waste part, and it take that bacteria in its legs and its body part. Then it fly and sit on that area where the fresh sugarcane juice is. The person is making the fresh sugarcane juice. Now it have transferred the bacteria from that waste material to the sugarcane juice, right? So it have transferred disease from a place to another place. So we can say that housefly is a vector for cholera bacteria or Vibrio cholerae bacteria. So vectors are those which are it themselves or itself not infected with that disease, but they transfer a disease from one place to another place. So what are the insect vectors? Anopheles mosquito, that is a female mosquito that is responsible for malaria. It's a vector of malaria, right? So why not a male transfer the disease? Anopheles, Pulex, Aedes, they all are male. They all are female, right? So why the male do not transfer disease? Why male mosquito do not transfer the disease? Only the female mosquito they transfer the disease. They are the vector. Any one of you? Come on. Shafla, Ellen,
So
Farah.
they do not have a carrier for it.
Yeah, they are not. Why they are not carrier for it? That is my question.
So I said because they didn't transfer the gametes or something.
Sorry,
They do not transfer the gametes.
they do not tax for gathering. Aksa, what about you? No. Look, very interesting fact. Male mosquito do not bite you. Come on. The mosquito which bite you, they are actually female. Male mosquito do not suck the blood. They do not drink your blood. These are the only female mosquito which you bite you and drink the blood. So what male mosquito do? They just spend life feeding on the nectar only. Nectar of flower. Male mosquito never bite anyone. These are the female mosquito which bite. And actually they have to complete their reproductive cycle. That's why they drink the blood, right? And when taking the blood inside, so and the development of these pathogen takes place inside the blood only, right? So that is the reason. So remember, so it is always female mosquito which bite us. This is the female mosquito which are the vector. So Anopheles is vector for the malaria. You will get number of the time the question from all these three mosquito. Anopheles, they are the vector for malaria. Culex is a type of mosquito. They are the vector for filaria disease. What else is filaria is called? This disease is also called elephantiasis. 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 Elephantiasis in this the lower body organ, and basically the leg of a human, it become like elephant, right? That's why this is called elephantiasis, filaria. Aedes, it spread yellow fever, dengue fever, and filaria, right? So this is responsible for yellow fever, dengue fever, and filaria as well, right? Housefly, it's responsible for typhoid, diarrhea, and cholera and TB, as I have told you, right? Sand fly, it is responsible for kala azar, right? Kala azar. And CC fly, it is responsible for a disease called sleeping sickness. You have to remember all these vector and disease by heart. Please take this screenshot. Highly recommended, right? And when you will solve previous year question, you will find number of the question from this. I think it must be clear to all of you. There is nothing to understand. Now the common viral diseases. You have not to remember each and everything. You have to remember only those diseases what is visible in your scheme only. Nothing other than this one, right? I have taken only those diseases which are frequently asked and there are probability to be asked, right? Otherwise, unnecessary things are not here. Look, influenza, you'll get number of type the question. Number of the time this have been asked, and still the question comes. Influenza is spread by orthomyxovirus, right? Chickenpox, frequently asked, varicella zoster virus. Smallpox, variola virus, right? These are the causal organism, right? The virus which causes diseases, right? Measles, rubiola virus. Rabies, Lysa virus. Again, mumps, paramyxovirus. Polio, poliovirus. Hepatitis A, hepatitis virus. Hepatitis B, serum hepatitis virus, right? And dengue, that is dengue virus. Clear?
Yes,
So
sir.
you have to remember just 10 viral disease and the name of 10 viruses. Okay. I've already told you that the most of the question from this chapter will be factual. Again, bacterial disease. Cholera is spread by a bacteria known as Vibrio cholerae. Pneumonia is spread by a bacteria Streptococcus pneumoniae. Typhoid by Salmonella typhi. Tetanus by Clostridium tetani. Diphtheria by Corynebacterium diphtheriae. Whooping cough, that is Bordetella pertussis. Whooping cough is also known as pertussis. This disease is also known as pertussis. Tuberculosis, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Plague is spread by Yersinia pestis, and the vector is Pisu, right? It is found, it is like lysis like organism. This is the vector for the plague, right? So plague is spread by Yersinia pestis. Leprosy, Mycobacterium leprae, but this disease have been eradicated from the world. Syphilis, Treponema pallidum. Gonorrhea, Neisseria gonorrhea, right? Neisseria gonorrhea. Is that clear?
Sir, can you go to the previous slide, please?
Yeah, sure. Previous one. This one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir, done.
So this was the bacterial disease. Hope you all must have taken the screenshot. You have not to forget even single disease, right? I'm just repeating again and again. I have just called only those diseases which are being asked. Now, protozoa and helminthes disease. Protozoa, you know, they are the eukaryotic cell, single cell eukaryotic cellular organism, right? And helminth means the organism which belong to platyhelminthes phylum. So, amoeba, there is the entamoeba histolytica, amoebic dysentery. So, normal dysentery is known as amoebic dysentery. It is spread by entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica is an organism which is found. It is a amoeba. It is found in the dirty water or this contaminated water, right? So malaria is spread by these 4 positive organisms, right? That is Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium ovale, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium falciparum. So there are 4 organisms or 4 protozoa which are responsible for spreading these diseases, right? So you have to remember all 4. By the way, malaria, that is Plasmodium falciparum, is the most dangerous one, right? Tetanus, sorry, teniasis. That is it is spread by Taenia solium, tapeworm. Tapeworm gets inside the small intestine of a human being, and it sucks the half digested food, right? And you must have seen this organism in your classification system, and that tapeworm, right? So Ascaris, Ascariasis is spread by Ascaris lumbricoid, right? That is a roundworm, right? And that is Wuchereria bancrofti. It is responsible for a disease, filaria. Let me write it down more clearly. Actually, it's not clear. Just spread by the disease of filaria. So, as I have told you, filaria is also known as the elephantiasis. Elephantiasis. Actually, this Wuchereria bancrofti is a type of helminth. That also you need to remember. It is caused by an organism of platyhelminthes, and filaria is caused by Wuchereria bancrofti. Clear? Take the screenshot. Ascaris lumbricoid is a type of roundworm, right? Taenia solium, it's a tapeworm. It also belongs to platyhelminthes. What is the phylum of this one? Ascaris lumbricoid. Which phylum it belongs to? Tell me, Ellen. Mamuna, which phylum it belongs to? This one, Ascaris lumbricoid, roundworm. Come on, guys. Not remember? You must have studied in classification system. Aschelminthes, roundworm, belongs to a phylum Aschelminthes, and previously this phylum used to be called Nematoda, right? Now there are some diseases which have been mentioned. Some diseases. So discuss one by one disease. Many times the tests have been asked that which test is done to confirm the which test is done to confirm the typhoid, right? So there is a bacteria, Salmonella typhi, which is responsible for typhoid, right? Basically, typhoid is a disease which infect the liver, right? That's why this disease is very harmful. Person can die in extreme cases. It seems a very simple kind of disease, but it's a detrimental. Bacteria, Salmonella typhi, is responsible for this disease. It infects the small intestine. That also you need to remember. It is common in the children which are from 1 to 15-year old. It is transmitted through food and water. Housefly is a vector which carry the pathogen of disease, and the test which is conducted for it is called Vidal test. It is called Vidal test. So Vidal test is a test which is responsible for this. Okay, got it? Vidal test have been asked number of times. Pneumonia. Pneumonia, you must have listened this disease. So pneumonia is also caused by a bacteria. The causal organism is bacteria, and the bacteria is Streptococcus pneumoniae. We have studied this bacteria in the chapter molecular genetics as well. It is an experimental organism as well. So Streptococcus pneumoniae, right? And the second one, which is responsible for that is Haemophilus influenzae, right? These are the two bacteria which are responsible for any of two is responsible for pneumonia, and it is spread through sputum, right? Means spitting here and there. So that's how it is spread. And AFF, alveoli wall inflammation, right? So what is that AFF? Alveoli wall alveoli wall inflammation, right? What are the characteristics? And secrete protein-rich fluid. So alveoli wall get inflated, they secrete protein-rich fluid, and they block bronchioles, right? So the person get problem in the breathing, and the commonly they commonly takes place in the old people. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next disease is common cold. Common cold, which generally frequently happen with you, me, it's a common disease. So common cold takes place through rhinovirus. It affects the nose and respiratory passages, not the lungs. Nose and respiratory passage means till here, right? Transmitted through inhalation of droplet. Somebody is sneezing or and all that. That's how it is transmitted, right? Rhinovirus. Clear? What happened today? Nobody is responding. Like, yes, it is clear or not clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Malaria. That is very important. Very important. You have to understand completely this diagram. Try to understand. Look. Because in malaria, half of this life cycle is completed inside human, and half of the life cycle is completed inside mosquito, right? So that's how it takes place. What happened in a human? Suppose that a healthy human is bitten by a mosquito, and we have seen that this is the mosquito, Anopheles mosquito, which is responsible for spreading the. So mosquito inject sporozoite. So first question which you can get, please note down. The infective stage, that is the question. That how the question are being asked. Infective stage of the infective stage of the malaria pathogen is sporozoite. Is sporozoite. This one. Sporozoites. These sporozoite from the bloodstream, they reaches to liver. When they reaches to liver, inside the liver, they start asexual reproduction. The second question, sporozoite perform asexual reproduction. First asexual reproduction in liver, sporozoite start first asexual reproduction in liver, and second in RBC, right? Look, now what happened? These sporozoite, they divide, and after division, they are again spread into blood, right? They again come out in the blood. These are basically called merozoites. After that, what happened? They infect the RBC. They goes inside the RBC, right? And inside the RBC, they make a ring-like structure, right? Note down the next point. Inside RBC, malaria plasmodium inside RBC, malaria plasmodium make a ring-shaped structure. Make a ring-shaped structure. That make a ring-shaped structure. These are all the questions which I am dictating. It make a ring-shaped structure. Then again, what happened? It after making ring-shaped structure, it developed, and during the development, it releases a substance. That substance name is hemojoin. When hemojoin is released, on that time, malaria patient feel shivering and high fever. Right. So please note down. Malaria protozoa releases hemojoin. Malaria protozoa releases hemojoin when developing inside RBC. Full stop. Hemojoin is responsible for shivering and chilling, with high fever. Full stop. After the infection, within 72 hours after the infection, within 72 hours, a person feel high fever with shivering and chilling, when get malarial infection. Look, now what happened? The ring formation takes place. Now this inside the RBC, it develops, it become enlarges, right? And hemojoin is released, right? And then it again develop. After the development, the second asexual reproduction takes place, and this as it form a number of small cells. Now these cells are called merozoites, right? Again the RBC rupture and they spread like this way, right? Now what happened? These merozoites make two kind of the gametes, a male gamete and a female gamete. This male and female gamete, they remains inside the different RBC, right? Again, a mosquito bite to the person who is infected with malaria. At the bite of mosquito, these both of the male and female gamete, they goes inside the gut of mosquito, right? Inside the gut of means inside the digestive system, intestine, right? And inside the gut of mosquito, they fuses and form zygote, right? So please note down the next point. Sexual reproduction of malaria pathogen. Sexual reproduction of malaria pathogen, in bracket, malaria pathogen, in bracket, plasmodium, takes place inside mosquito gut. Look, inside mosquito gut, they fuses and form zygote. After that, this zygote, it make inside the gut, it make a cyst-like structure in epithelial cell, right? Again, development of sporozoite takes place, and this sporozoite moves to from gut, they moves to salivary gland, and from salivary gland they are released to the again a healthy person, right? So this mosquito, they please note it down. One more point: sporozoite develop inside the gut, but after development, sporozoite develop into mosquito gut, but after development, they move to salivary gland. After development, they move to salivary gland of mosquito. Tell me, guys, is it clear? Is this life cycle clear or not? And whatever I dictated, that is the question. That's why I dictated for you. Is that clear to all of you? Malarial life cycle?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So you have to remember where does it complete the first asexual reproduction, second asexual reproduction, then where does take place the sexual reproduction takes place. Now the next disease is scariasis. Scariasis. So scariasis, dysentery, filaria, and ringworm. So first thing, dysentery. Dysentery takes place when a person get infected by Entamoeba histolytica. Entamoeba histolytica is found in contaminated water. This is polluted water. This when a person take inside, it goes inside, and then it get stuck in the small intestine. In the small intestine, in villi, it is stuck, and in villi, it start carving it, right? And then in carving, after in carving, it goes deep inside the this one villi, and when it goes deep inside the villi, due to rupture of the blood capillaries takes place. That's why mucus and blood come out with the stool, right? So mucus and blood come out with the stool. That is the characteristic of dysentery. It secretes the pathogenic enzyme, and the name of enzyme cytolysin, right? So that pathogenic or proteolytic enzyme, that is cytolysin. Cytolysin erode the intestine wall, right? It erode the intestine wall, right? Means it dig the intestine wall. It experiences severe gripping pain, and the person experiences severe gripping pain, right? And mucus and blood come out of this stool, right? Here you have to remember just the name of the this pathogen, that is a protozoa, right? Entamoeba histolytica, and another, that is the cytolysin enzyme, which is responsible for degrading protein. Clear? Next disease is scariasis. You must have seen small worms inside the stomach of the small kids, right? And how does it happen? That a small kid, they put anything inside mouth, whatever is whenever the thing, whenever they are eating like a fruit and the rest of the thing, when they fell down in the ground. So what they do without washing it, they again start eating it. So that's how this infection is spread, right? And this exclusively takes place in small kids, right? Ascariasis. So ascariasis, that is the roundworm, the type of roundworm. So it infects the small intestine. A worm suck the digested food, and the children are the main target. Worm seed. What is the worm length? The length of the worm is 20 to 40 centimeter, 20 male, 20 centimeter male, and 40 centimeter female. Egg remains alive for several years. Whenever the egg, they lay down the egg, which is spread through the stool, and they these eggs remain alive on the soil for the several years. It is spread through the water, food, fly, and cockroach, right? It causes weakness and anemia in children, right? So this is responsible for anemia in small children, right? Worm length, and you have to just remember the name of organism. This is roundworm, and we have already discussed that the name of the roundworm is, what is the name? Ascaris lumbricoid. So Ascaris lumbricoid is the name of this organism, which is responsible for ascariasis or roundworm disease. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Again, filaria. We have already discussed filaria is called elephantiasis. It is caused by Wuchereria bancrofti. Already we have seen the name of that causative organism. Wuchereria bancrofti belong to the phylum, and the name of the phylum is Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes. This organism belongs to Platyhelminthes phylum, right? So the phylum name is Platyhelminthes. Male is of 40 centimeter long and female is 80 millimeter long. I'm not sorry. Uh, the male is 40 millimeter long. Just a minute. The male is 40. The male is 40 millimeter long and the female is 80 millimeter long. And this is nocturnal. What does it mean? Actually, filaria worm cannot be detected at the daytime. What happens? If suppose that a person you have the same thing happen in the filaria, like the person will feel like the malaria, you can judge like the person is feeling some characteristic of malaria, right? But he is not infected by malaria. Then what happens if you go to the hospital for the blood test during the daytime? There are fair enough chances that the worm is not detected, because at the daytime worm goes inside the deeper inside the body, means it remains deep, those vessels which are found deeper inside the body, it is not found in the body surface, right? At the night time the worm come at the body surface, right? So for the better result and for the confirmation result, a person must take the blood sample at the night time, right? Then the worm come at the outer surface of the body at the night time. That's why it is written over here that the filaria or filaria worm is, that is nocturnal organism, because it can be tested at the night. And the vector is Culex. We have already studied that. What happened? It blocked the lymphatic vessels. It blocked the lymph vessels. That causes the swelling and affect the part of foot, leg, and scrotum. Right. So body, lower body part, they get swelled due to accumulation of the lymph. Right. This is the filaria, and the foot become very heavy. That's why it is also known as elephantiasis. Is that clear? Clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now come to the immunity part. What is the immunity? What is the immunity?
The ability to fight against foreign pathogens.
Exactly. The ability of the body to fight against the foreign pathogen or foreign antigen, that is called immunity. So development of the immunity. Immunity can be developed in three ways. Here you will get the question from the passive immunity. Many times the question I've been asked from passive immunity, right? And B cells and T cells, right? Development of the immunity. Immunity developed through the first thing, immunity developed through the disease, vaccination, and antitoxin. What is that? First thing, suppose that first time I got infected with the any disease, right? So what happened? First thing, when the first time disease will come, it will make me sick, right? And when the disease pathogen will infect, my WBC will develop antibody against it, right? And that antibody remains for the many years in blood, right? So when when the disease will come at the second time or next time, immunity is already in my body, so that disease will not harm me in second time. It means when the first time infection came, that infection infected me, that make me sick, but along with that disease have developed immunity inside me, right? Second thing, in vaccination, what are the vaccines? Vaccines are injections of dead or very weak pathogen, right? So what happened during the polio and NX? In the polio, there are broken part of the virus, polio virus, and they are injected inside a person. When this broken part of the virus, they goes inside the body think that this is body. What body think? Body think that this WBC think that the pathogen have came, and they start making the uh, that antibodies against that, right? And the antibodies there. When the actual virus will come, already antibodies are there. An antibody will fight and defeat that virus, right? So that's how the vaccination develop immunity inside our body. Antitoxins. Antitoxins, like whenever the toxin goes inside our body, the antitoxins develop against that. So that is an antitoxin. And sometimes we take antitoxin from the outside as well, right? So that is there are only three ways of development of immunity. Now, what are the types of immunity? How many type of the immunity can be? The first type of immunity is innate or inborn immunity, right? What is innate? Please try to understand from here. It is very important. Focus over here. I want your 100% focus over here. Innate or inborn immunity, right? So what is the innate or inborn immunity? What is the innate or inborn immunity? Look. Innate or inborn immunity. Look, in innate or inborn immunity, this is non-specific and it is present since the birth. Non-specific means this is not for the particular disease. It is in general for all kind of disease. It is found in the body of a human since birth. By birth, we get this kind of the immunity. How many type of the barrier they develop innate immunity or inborn immunity? First thing, physical barrier. The physical barrier, like our skin. Skin prevent all kind of the bacteria and viruses to go inside our body, right? Physiological barrier. Suppose that any bacteria entered inside my mouth. What will happen? In the saliva, there is enzyme lysozyme that will kill it. That is called physiological barrier, right? So our physiology will kill that. Then cellular barrier. Cellular barrier, when it goes inside our body, suppose that from it goes inside our blood. So in blood, there are already WBC. They will eat that. Cytokine barrier. What is the cytokine barrier? In cytokine barrier, what will happen? Suppose that a cell is getting infected. Any of the cell of body got infected. The cells which are surrounding to that infected cell, they will become immune for that disease. That is called cytokine barrier. So there are four kind of the barrier in innate immunity: physical, physiological, cellular, and cytokine barrier. Tell me, is that clear? If you want, you can ask me.
Yes, sir.
Just give me one. Look, so if there is no problem, then I'll go ahead. So first kind of the immunity is innate immunity. Please keep on noting down it. You will forget it after the class, or take the screenshot, whatever you feel better, and in whatever the thing you feel comfortable, please do that, right? Else you will forget. I'm more than sure, right? So type of immunity can be of two types: innate immunity, and the second is acquired or adaptive immunity. Innate immunity, as it is written, we get it by birth, and acquired immunity, we get it when we take birth, after the birth, right? So we take it from this environment, right? In acquired immunity, it developed by a response of microbe. When microbe attack us, then it develop, right? This is specific. This is for particular disease. Innate immunity or inborn immunity is not for particular disease. It is for all kind of the disease, right? Acquired adaptive immunity, right? It is specific. it lasts for whole life or some time. Maybe in innate immunity, acquired immunity, it may be for some time, for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, or it may be for 4 or 5 years, or it may be for lifetime, right? Now, acquired immunity is of two types. I mean, the immunity which we get after the infection, that is of two types, right? First, active immunity. Active immunity, that is organism's own produces when organism own cell produces antibody. Suppose that I have got a bacterial infection first time, then I'll feel fever, I'll feel weakness, I'll feel some pain in liver, heart, and many of the body part because of that infection. I'll take medicine or maybe not take medicine, right? Then what will happen when the attack will be done on my body, when the pathogen will attack on my body, my WBC will start producing antibodies. That antibodies is a type of protein produced by WBC that is spread across the blood. Antibody will remain inside the blood and it will kill all the pathogen. After some time, I will recover. But those antibodies are not going to die. They may remain for few months, for few years, or for the whole lifetime. It depends on disease to disease and pathogen to pathogen, right? So this is produced by, so that is a kind of active immunity, because my own WBC or my own cells, they have produced the antibodies. What is the passive immunity? It is produced by other organisms' body, right? So what happened? This question have been asked. Infant immunity, this immunity, infant immunity. When a baby take birth, in human reproduction case, I have told you. When a baby take birth, what happened? He have a passive immunity. How? Because when a mother feed her milk, and in the milk, that first 2 days milk, like 2 to 3 days milk, that is called colostrum. Colostrum have a passive immunity, right? That have antibodies as well, right? So the mother's immunity help that baby to fight against the disease in initial days, right? So that colostrum develop. I have written over here. It is written over here. Colostrum develop in this immunity. One more thing, you must have remember the days when the corona was at its height. You must have listened a technique, plasma therapy. What used to happen? The people who got infected with the corona, they used to donate their blood. From their blood, we used to take out the plasma, and plasma is supplied to those persons who are already bedridden or they are very sick, right? So what happened? The person who have recovered develop antibodies. We take the blood, means we are taking the antibodies, and that antibodies are incorporated someone else's body, right? So that is called passive immunity. When you give plasma to someone, give platelet to someone, that is also kind of passive immunity, right? So that immunity, this acquired immunity or adaptive immunity, can be active or passive. Active immunity develop our own body, and passive immunity develop someone else's body. We take it from some other's body. Is it clear or not? Please tell me. Guys, tell me.
Yes, sir.
Clear? Okay. Now, cellular immunity. What is the cellular immunity? I have already told WBC, cellular immunity. So basically, WBC are responsible for cellular immunity. Take this screenshot. You will not find this graph. I have made this for the only medical examination. You will not find it anywhere else, right? Look. What kind of the cellular immunity we have? Please try to understand. Again, I want your 100% focus over here, right? How the cellular immunity develop in our body. In the cellular immunity, WBCs are basically called leukocyte, right? Their basic name is leukocyte. Leukocyte or WBC can be two types: a granulocyte and granulocyte. A granulocyte, they do not have any granular protoplasm, and granulocytes have some granules in their protoplasm. That is the difference between two. Further, granulocytes have been divided in two parts: lymphocyte and monocyte. Lymphocyte, they may be of two types: B cells or T cells. B lymphocyte, they develop liver and produces antibody. T lymphocyte develop thymus and directly attack, right? So B lymphocyte, they produces antibody, and T lymphocyte, they directly attack. What does it mean? Suppose that there is a bacteria or any virus. For that bacteria and virus, these B cell will produce antibodies. That antibody will dissolve in the blood. When that antibody will come in contact with that bacteria or the virus, it will kill that bacteria or virus. But in case of T cells, they will directly go and they will directly kill to that bacteria and they will die themselves. That is the difference between, so both will kill, but the attacking mechanism, fighting mechanism is different, right? So lymphocyte can be two types, B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte. You have to remember, B lymphocyte develop in liver and T lymphocyte in thymus. They are non-motile and non-phagocytic, means neither they can move and nor they eat bacteria or virus. Non-phagocytic means they will not eat the pathogen. They produces antibody and destroy the microbe, toxins and tumor cell. That question have been asked, which of the following cell is responsible for to killing the tumor cell? Our body have fighting mechanism against tumor cell. So lymphocytes are responsible to fight against tumor cell. 20 to 25% WBC are lymphocytes. Their life span is for few days to years. The second kind of agranulocyte is monocyte. That question have also been already been asked. They are largest of all WBC. They are the largest of WBC. They are motile and phagocytic. They are motile and they eat bacteria or virus and die themselves. They engulf bacteria and virus and cell debris, and their life span is 10 to 20 hours of lifespan. Is that clear?
Yes.
In blood cancer, what happened? These monocyte, they forget that this is body cell, this is its own cell or external pathogen. They starting their own body cell. That is the blood cancer, right? Monocyte, they develop uncontrolled and they start eating their own body cells. Granulocyte, their life span is 4 to 5 days. They can be of three types: eosinophil, basophil, and neutrophil. Eosinophils, they increase in allergy, asthma, and hay fever. Their number increases in these disease, right? When we have these kind of disease, they help in dissolving the blood clot. If there is any blood clot inside body, they will help in dissolving it. They are non-phagocytic, means they do not eat any organism. They are similar like lysosome. They destroy the protistans. They work like lysosome. Basophils, they release heparin. What is the role of heparin? Please tell me. This question has been asked twice. Which releases heparin? Basically, basophil are the cells which are responsible for releasing heparin. What is the function of heparin? Please tell me, guys. Any one of you? Saifullah, Helen, Hiba, Farad, Maimuna, Hanifa, Aksa. Please tell me. Any one of you? It's a very basic question. You must know it. What is the function of heparin? Come on, guys.
Does it for allergies?
That is histamine. After heparin is written over here. Histamine is responsible for allergy. Come on, guys. This is responsible for blood clotting. Heparin. It is anti-clotting agent. It do not allow blood to clot inside our body. Clear? Note it down. Heparin is anti-clotting agent. Heparin is anti-clotting agent found in our blood. It do not allow blood to clot inside our body. Clear? They are least in count. They release serotonin and histamine. Histamine is responsible for allergy. Neutrophil, most numerous. They are 60 to 65% are neutrophil. They eat harmful germs and that's why they are phagocytic. They eat germ and die themselves. Tell me, guys, is it clear or not? If you have any doubt in any of the point, please ask me. If you don't have doubt, please say yes and take the screenshot.
The serotonin is also for allergies, right?
Yes, right. No doubt.
No doubt,
Parat,
sir.
Parat, is it clear to of you? Clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Aksa, Hanifa,
Yes, sir.
very good. Fine. You know, all the questions belongs to WBC you will get from this PPT. This is not much more important, but still, it's a part of syllabus, I'll discuss with you. So this is antibody diagram, right? Antibodies are a type of protein, right? And there are two heavy chain. These two are heavy chain, right? And these both heavy chain, they are bridged with disulfide bridge, right? And these small one are the lighter chain, right? So they just trap the here they with the help of this antigen binding site, they trap the antigen and kill them, right? And how does the allergy take place? That is also that I'm going to discuss with you. In allergy, when antigen come out, right? So allergy, whenever antigen attack our body, we get some inflammation response. You must have seen that sometimes you use the chemical. So some chemical are antigen for you. When you use that chemical, you start itching and all that, right? And that part become red, right? And you get the itching in that part. That is that itching is taking place due to release of the histamine, right? So what happened during the allergy when antigen comes, the mast cell die, right? The mast cell which are found in our below the skin, they keep on flowing with the blood. They are found in subcutaneous part, means below the skin, right? These mast cell die and they release the histamine, right? Now when the histamine is released, as I have already told you that this histamine is responsible for allergy, right? So that release of the histamine, this histamine. This histamine, it causes blood capillary to dilate. They will become whiter. Permeability increases. Their permeability increases. More blood flow make that area red where the allergy is, and it causes itching and inflammation. This response is called allergy. Tell me, is it clear or not? You need to remember the mast cell. Number of times this question have been asked. Mast cell. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Mast cell and histamine, they are responsible for allergy. Okay. Is there anything left? No. HIV. Human immunodeficiency syndrome virus. HIV. Does it look like coronavirus? Is it that? Yes. You must have seen the
Yes, sir.
coronavirus is like the same kind of the virus because their structure is same. So look, this outer covering of HIV, it is made up of glycoprotein. There is a viral envelope which is made up of again protein. Inside the viral envelope, as you can see, there are capsid. This capsid is a type of protein, right? Capsid protein. Inside the capsid protein cover, there are RNA, right? RNA have the enzyme, they are called reverse transcriptase enzyme, right? They may be single stranded RNA, and that is the linear as well, right? So there are two copy of RNA, two copy of RNA and two copy of reverse transcriptase enzyme. What is the function of reverse transcriptase enzyme? They are responsible for formation of RNA to DNA. Formation of DNA takes place on RNA template, right? So first noticed in 1981. What happens? It reduces the number of B cell and T cell. Important. It reduces the number of B cell and T cell. HIV discovered by Robert Galileo, right? And Mantegnia, right? Robert Galileo and Mantegnia. It is a type of retrovirus, means it's a RNA virus. This is very important. You must be, when you read, you ignore this point. The medicine, number of the time question have been asked, which of the following is effective medicine against AIDS, right? Azithromycin, ribavirin, and zidovudine, right? Azithromycin, ribavirin, and zidoviridin. These are the medicine against the viruses, right? This HIV virus. Please note down. So when what it do, it actually switch off our immune system, because it reduces the number of B cell and T cell. When the number of B cell and T cell will reduce, our immunity will be shut down. And a person, HIV is not a disease, it's a syndrome, right? HIV is not a virus. HIV is not a disease, it's a syndrome. HIV shut down the immune system of a person, switch off the immune system of a person. And because of that, when the bacteria or pathogen attack, that remains forever, that body cannot fight against that. 99% of the time, the person infected with the HIV will die because of the TB, because all of we have some or less amount of the TB, right? It may be 5%, 7%, 5% to 10% TB. All of must have 5% to 10% TB. Whenever the immune system switch off, the TB bacteria start multiplying, and that causes TB, and the person will die because of the TB. So that is the HIV virus. Is that clear? So what is the question? Medicine question have been asked from the medicine. What it do? It shut down it reduces the number of B cell and T cell. And second, it is a retrovirus having 2 RNA and 2 reverse transcriptase enzyme. This question, these are the questions. Is that clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. HIV life cycle as the same any retrovirus do the same thing. HIV land, this coat remains outside of the body, host it remains outside of the body. It drops inside its RNA, both of the RNA and RNA polymerase, reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase make DNA or RNA template. Where? In the protoplasmid cell, right? Now this viral DNA, formation of viral DNA takes place on viral RNA template, right? Now this viral DNA, it integrate with the DNA of host, right? After integration with the DNA of the host, it make more copy and multiply, and after multiply, the assembly takes place and virus goes out of the body, right? So it is spread like that. So it works like the same as the rest of the virus do, rest of the retrovirus do. There is nothing specialty. Cancer. Okay. So cancer, what is the oncology? So oncology, you must have seen in the virus, there is a, you must have seen in the hospital, there is a department of oncology. Oncology is the study of cancer gene. And the name of the cancer gene is oncogene. So oncogene is the gene which causes the cancer, right? What is the cancer? We have already discussed that cancer is nothing but this is uncontrolled division of cell. Uncontrolled division of cell. When uncontrolled division of cell, that is a cancer, right? In uncontrolled division of cell, the number of cell divide and they increases in number. They compete from the other cell for the nutrition, and they spread some harmful or toxic protein, and that kills a person. Cancer, there is no particular body part for the cancer, right? Like the heart attack takes place in the heart, right? And kidney stone takes place in the kidney, right? Liver cirrhosis takes place in the liver, but as such, there is no place for the cancer. It can take place from the hair to the toe at any part of the body. Cancer can. Why? Because every cell of the body have oncogene. Oncogene is the gene that is responsible for cancer, right? There are certain chemical which trigger, or oncogene is a cancerous gene. It is found in the sleeping condition inside our body, right? It is a dormant gene. It is not active gene. It is inactive gene, right? And it remains inactive throughout the body. But sometimes certain chemical, they trigger the oncogene, and when they trigger the oncogene, the cells start multiplying and they causes cancer, right? Uh, those chemical which activate oncogene, dormant oncogene, or trigger the oncogene, they are called carcinogenic substances. So carcinogenic substances are those substances, they trigger or activate the oncogene or cancer causing gene, right? So carcinogenic are basically the chemical which causes cancer. So that's how we can define. They are the chemical causes cancer. That is called carcinogen. What can be the carcinogen? Nicotine, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, cadmium, right? And arsenic, lead, they all are carcinogenic substances. So carcinogenic substances are those which causes cancer. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Cancer may be of two types, right? So normally it takes place, that is also very important. The cancer takes place in those cells which frequently divide, right? The cells inside our mouth, they are swab cells. They frequently divide. The cells inside our intestine, gut, they are frequently dividing cells. Skin, digestive tract, liver, and gut. These are the part where the cells divide frequently, right? So they basically attack the frequently dividing the cell. Now what happened when the cells divide, uncontrolled division takes place, formation of this lump-like structure takes place. This is called tumor or neoplasm, right? Tumor is also known as neoplasm, right? It compete with the other cell for nutrition, right? And release a harmful protein, that tumor, right? So tumor is also known as neoplasm, means newly formed material. Tumor may be of two types, benign and malignant. Malignant is more dangerous. Benign tumor means they are confined to particular sites. Suppose that in a particular person, the cell division start from here, right? So it will confine at this part. If we cut down and throw this part, right? Suppose that in fact a whole hand. If you cut down this hand and throw it out, right? What will happen? It will not spread the other part of the body. It confined only in this part, right? So the person do not die, right? So that is called benign cancer. But in malignant, what happened? First, it grows slowly. You cannot detect it. Now, symptoms are noticeable. No symptoms are noticeable at primary stage. At primary stage, you cannot notice it. In the last stage, tumor tissue breaks. In the last stage, you will come to know that the cancer is affected by the cancer. The tumor tissues will start breaking off, and they will keep on flowing throughout the body. They spread the other part of the body, and because of this spreading, they will the part where they reach this fragment, that tumor, that will burst and it will reach every part of the body, and those every part of the body, wherever it will reach, there will start a new cancer, right? So that's why benign is very benign is not dangerous. Malignant is very dangerous cancer. Tell me, is it clear between the benign and malignant?
Yes, sir.
Very, very important question. What we call that stage when the tissue of a malignant cancer, malignant tumor break out and spread the body. This stage is called metastasis. Note it down. Metastasis is the stage. It is written over here. Metastasis is the stage when tissues of malignant cancer, malignant tumor, tissues of malignant tumor break down and is spread throughout the blood. It is diagnosed by the help of biopsy, radiography, and MRI. Cancer can be detected by biopsy, radiography, and MRI. Now, the types of drug. How many types of drugs are found? So there are following type of the drugs: psychotropic drug, and the first kind of the drug, they are the psychotropic, psychedelic, and all that we'll discuss. Like the first kind of the drug is psychotropic drug. From the name itself, it is reflected that act on the brain and alter the behavior or consciousness or capacity of the person. Right? Psychotelic. So can you tell me any of the drug which is a psychotelic? No? Look. So they act on the brain, they directly act on the brain. They alter the behavior of us, like heroin. Heroin is a, and opium, that is psychotelic. That alter, they directly act on the brain. They alter the behavior and consciousness of the person and the capacity, and the person die. Right? So yes, the person can die. First category of tranquilizer. Tranquilizer, they lessen the tension and anxiety and promote the calmness without sedatory effect. Means the person will not sleep, but they will calm down a person. Right? Normally, those person who are mad or who are very hyperactive, right? These kind of the drugs, they are given as an injection during the medication, not drug abuse. During the medication, they are given as the person, so the person calm down and further medication can be done. Right? So they lessen the tension, they reduce the tension or anxiety, and they promote the calmness. Person become calm without sedatory effect. Means the person will not sleep. The person will remain active, but the person will calm down. They are called tranquilizer. Sedative or hypnotic. Hypnotic means sleep inducing, right? So sedative, they switch off the central nervous system. They will switch off the brain, right? They reduces the excitement, and sleep inducing drugs. Normally, they are used for the operation purpose, right? When you are operating a person, whole body operation or major operations are going on, then we give the hypotonic or sedative drug. Right? Second, opioid or narcotics. They suppress the brain activity, relieve the pain. They are a painkiller. Suppose that a major accident taken pain, a hand is like the hand is not over there, a person, or a person like we have to cut down the hand of a person. Then we have to give the opioid or narcotic. They are the very high dose and painkillers, right? They are used in the cough relief, vomiting, and diarrhea. Orally, they are given. When the orally they are given, they are basically found in the cough syrup and vomiting and diarrhea cases. But nowadays, opioid and narcotics, opioid are banned in the cough syrup in many countries, like our country. In India, they are banned. Even with the help of medical prescription, you cannot get that kind of the cough syrup which have the opioid, right? They will be available only with the hospitals and the bigger hospital as well. Stimulant, temporarily they stimulate the nervous system and they make a person alert or active. They are called stimulant. Got it? It is given to those person who have gone in depression and all that. Is that clear? You will get the question. What are the
Yes, sir.
tranquilizer? All are important. Take the screenshot. Tranquilizer asked. Hypnotic asked. Both have been asked. Opium, what is the source of opium? Opium is extracted from this capsule. You must have seen, most of you must have seen. The name of the opium, biological name is Papaver somniferum. And you need not to remember, just I have written over. They belongs to a family known as Papaveraceae, because this family is not part of your course curriculum. And the substance or drug which is extracted from it, opium, the name is, that is the morphine. This is analgesic, right? And second thing which is extracted from it, that is the morphine. Heroin, sorry, morphine is analgesic. Heroin, it is white brown crystalline powder, and it is 200 times stronger than opium. It is concentrated form of morphine. Smack, it is also extracted from this plant. It is also called brown sugar. Smack is also known as brown sugar. It is cheap and called poor's heroin because heroin is the costlier one, right? Analgesic means painkiller. Stimulant drug. Caffeine, mild stimulant found in the coffee. It is white, crystalline, slightly bitter, and improve the performance. Coffee, we know that it is a type of the drug, but this is the stimulant. It makes us active. When you feel laziness, you just have a coffee. Cocaine, it is harmful. It is this question have been asked. It is extracted from the plant. The name of the plant is erythroxylon coca. White crystalline bitter powder used for local anesthesia. Suppose that hand operation or leg operation have to do, so it just make inactive leg or hand, right? It stimulate the central nervous system. Crack, very harmful. These cocaine, crack, they are used in the drug abuse. They are a smokable derivative of cocaine. Okay, they make a person hyperactive. Last but not the least, psychedelic drug. Psychedelic drugs are those which alter the psychology or of a person. Means they take person somewhere else, right? So person get into some illusion. They are hallucinogen and act mainly on central nervous system. They greatly alter the thought. A person is lying on the road or in any on garbage, but he will feel that he is in heaven, right? That kind of feeling you will get, right? So these kind of the drug are called psychedelic drug, right? They alter the thought and perception of a person. They are vision producing drug. Means the person gets some better feeling. He is in the worst place but get better feeling. In the very good place but feel the horrible kind of the feeling. So first of them in LSD. This question have been asked multiple times. The source of LSD. LSD is a crystalline drug obtained from a dried sclerotorium. Sclerotorium is a type of fungus, right? It's a fruit of a fungus. It is obtained from Ascomycetes fungus. The name of the fungus is Claviceps purpurea. Claviceps purpurea. So LSD is obtained from Claviceps purpurea. It causes a nightmare, horrible dreams. It damages the nervous system and even causes the death. This is the strongest out of the all drugs which are used in drug abuse. MDMA, methylene methamphetamine. It affects central nervous system. It causes hallucinogen effect. Most of the drug abuse, these are used in the pub and clubs, right? Where the people keep on dancing for 4 or 5 hours while having MDMA. So those tablets which are given, which are used in the drug abuse in the disc and pubs, they are just made up of MDMA. Cannabinoids, hemp plant, the most frequently used drugs. The 4 drugs are extracted from it: bhang, ganja, charas, and marijuana. It is extracted from a plant. The name of the plant is Cannabis sativa, Cannabis indica, and Cannabis sativa. The weed, no common name is weed. You must have listened this name weed. Weed is basically this Cannabis sativa, right? That's it for this chapter. So whatever I have told you, that you have to remember only those things. And the most of the question from this chapter will be factual. Tell me, guys, is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you have any question, please ask me.